and relax. It's Evening Karak with Aisha and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
All right, we got a new week here on the Evening Karak, but this could be the last week of Ramadan.
It is the last week. What do you mean it could be?
You know, because they're still deciding on whether Thursday could be Eid or not.
I know, but they're
not. You know, that could, I just say that's why we're keeping it could be. It's a disclaimer.
It's not that it could be. It is the last week.
I'm just saying that maybe.
Mikhail, they're not going to add.
How about this? What if people loved the Evening Karak so much and everyone at Pulse said, you know what? Let's keep going. Let's do Evening Karak for the rest of the year.
Unlike during Ramadan, people actually go to sleep early.
Yeah, I'm going to have to change my sleeping schedule completely. I'm reshifting everything after Ramadan. I hope to wake up in the morning
Mikhail, you
by
say
next
that
week.
as if you don't wake up in the morning anyway every day.
I used to, and I always used to enjoy having those extra hours in the morning. But now, because of Ramadan, I'm up at 12 or sometimes 2 p.m. And I don't really like that because I feel like I missed out half on the day. But now I'm up all night. So that's a little
that
bit
makes it up.
Yeah, it's a weird balance.
It is the last week of Ramadan. There's no dispute about that.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely no disputes about that, and which is sad, bittersweet, but that's how life happens. Time happens, and the moon phases, etc., the sun phases, etc.
Which is why we got to savor these last couple of days with you guys before we head back to our afternoon karak.
Yes, which is why if you guys haven't won 500 dirhams, that riddle's still ongoing for the next couple of days. Do we have 4 days worth of 500 dirhams, or is it 3 days? We don't know. It's like Mikhail said, we're waiting for that moon sighting. But until then, you guys, you have a very good chance to win that riddle of the day, courtesy of the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Just like we promised you, we did watch SNL's episode
featuring Elon Musk.
Featuring Elon Musk as the host and Miley Cyrus as the musical guest. And oh boy, do I have a lot to talk about.
There's some laughs and there's some cringy moments.
Were there laughs? Let's be honest. Were there laughs?
I think because of my weird sense of humor, I'd say yes, there were some laughs.
But were you laughing actually at the jokes or the way they were said?
I was laughing at Elon himself.
Exactly my point. We're going to be talking about that later on in the hour because obviously if you guys haven't heard the memo, Evening Karak is 2 hours long. That's going to be in the second hour. However, right now we're going to be talking about so many things, including the story. It's a good one. Has a bit of mystery in it.
Oh man.
Mystery and magic and fantasy. And you know what we like to do? We like to go crazy with those. And we do have a lot of other things to talk about.
Yes, we're talking about the Golden Globes for time, and for a while people have been making jokes about the Hollywood Press Association not being inclusive, not having enough inclusiveness in their group.
Yes.
And it seems that there's one big company that had to make a move just to get them to finally make some reformations. Also, Lord of the Rings actor for Merry and Pippin are launching their own podcast.
And it's going to be a oh my God. Oh my God.
It's the sloppy Sundays. Don't worry.
You know what? Let's just cut it.
I think you need a sip of your tea.
I need a sip of my tea.
We need a few minutes. Because at the end of the day, it's just the two of us.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Evening Karak with Aisha and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
Now, this is a story that you guys might need to take a moment to digest because it's a little bit complicated, to say the least. But apparently, over the past couple of days, over the weekend, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which is a group that puts together and hosts things like the Golden Globe Award ceremony every year, they decided to have some sort of meeting where they tried to basically address all kinds of negative criticism that they've been having over the years about inclusivity, because out of the 80 plus members, they only have like one ethnicity only, and that is Caucasians, which is a little bit unfair when you take into consideration the fact that the entire world is made of people of color, including the United States themselves, that has various ethnicities and people of different backgrounds. So it's obviously they deserve that negative criticism, because what kind of people are judging and picking movies if they are of the same background? They
Exactly.
don't have the ability to pick as fairly as they can.
You have to imagine
Exactly.
it is an association comprised of 80 plus groups, and there's zero black members.
Absolutely zero anybody besides white people. So they decided to do some very big reforms.
They
and one of them-
promised that they would.
They promised, and then Netflix were like, you know what? You guys are messing with us. We do not believe you. And they're like, we're going to cut ties with you. And the reason why Netflix cut ties is obviously, one, because of the whole representation thing, because they think that just adding a couple of more members is not enough. They want them to add a lot more members, which I actually agree with, because yes, 80 plus seems like a lot. But if you go as far as Netflix, I believe they want over 300 people, it makes it more inclusive. I mean, there are so many groups out there that are being represented more and more in movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
It only makes sense that you include as many people as you can, instead of perhaps, out of those 9, let's say they pick 90. 80 of them are Caucasian, another 5 are African Americans, maybe 2 are Asian or Pacific descent, and 2 Arabs. And then what? That's still unfair. So they decided that they need a bigger pool of numbers. And also, they kind of disagreed with the way that the categorization works and what makes a movie or TV show eligible or not. So they're like, you know what? Until you fix this, we're leaving.
This is a big move from Netflix because they've won numerous awards from the Golden Globes. They won basically majority. And for them to step out means listen, we are a company that provides an entertainment around the globe.
Yeah.
We can't be a part of an organization that has Golden Globes in it and doesn't adhere to all sorts of diverse backgrounds and ethnic groups out there. So for them to do this is kind of like when an advertiser pulls a plug from a creator or something. So this is not only just a boycott, this is a big move. This is more like, it just speaks for itself that, and even now the Press Association have been imploring for Netflix to come back, promising that they will restructure from the ground up. But we're just gonna have to wait and see the overall outcome of what's going to happen. But honestly, kudos to Netflix, because they're an entertainment hub that not only does American entertainment, they do Asian entertainment now, Middle East, they cater to Europe and Africa. Every region is different, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to imagine how they wanna represent every group that's out there.
And the thing is that it is an unfortunate truth that a lot of our media comes from the United States. We consume American content. And even us, everybody who are around the world who want to see themselves in that content, it's very difficult to find any relatability or anybody you see and you're like, yeah, that's somebody's selling my story or my version of the story. Even though there are millions and millions of stories out there, we understand that. But at the same time, if they're not putting in that effort, if they claim to be, and as diverse as they claim to be, as basically a standpoint of representation and telling actual true stories of some sort, they need to actually stand up towards it, actually stand up to the pedestal that they put for themselves and actually put their money where their mouth is, more or less.
Exactly.
And apparently the president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, Ali Sar, says that obviously with all the panic and all the everything that's happening, he says that they'd love to sit down with Netflix, and that just shows that they really need Netflix. And a lot of people actually are commending Netflix for this massive move, because if somebody as big as Netflix can boycott the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, then it shows something good, honestly.
Yeah, and that action should be made as soon as possible. Hopefully the Hollywood Foreign Press Association learns the hard way that it's about time things become a lot more inclusive.
Yeah.
It's not enough that, like Aisha says, it's great that this year, especially with Oscars and all the other award ceremonies, that there is diversity, but that is still not enough. It's a small step to something that should be a lot much better, a lot more inclusive.
That should have been better a way long time ago, but here we are, like in the 92nd Academy Awards, and we've we just had our second Best Female Director win, and it's like kind of sad, incredibly sad for that to happen. But yeah, who knows? Maybe this is a good omen for the future generations. Coming right up next,
we got the Riddle, guys. Don't forget 500 dirham cash for you to win. So stay tuned for that and so much more.
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
all right, guys, if you want to win 500 dirhams courtesy of the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, you know what to do. We need to listen very, very closely to this upcoming riddle.
Does anybody else feel like a fried egg? But you can call me the Riddler.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. I am in front of you, but you can never see me. You hope for the best of me, but can never predict me. I'm always in front of you, but you can never see me. You hope for the best of me, but can never predict me. What am I? The awesome Sharjah Ramadan Festival is back. Solve the riddle and win 500 dirhams cash daily. It's also your chance to win wow prizes from participating outlets. Organised by Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Very ominous of a riddle.
Incredibly ominous. At first, I thought it was a shadow, but your shadow can be behind you as well, and
Yes.
you can see your shadow.
And though shadow can be unpredictable. I don't know why.
How is it unpredictable? Your shadow
You
is
ever have
always
this?
predictable.
You always have this weird feeling that maybe your shadow's doing something else behind your back,
Calm
and then when
down
you look
there.
back,
Calm down there, Peter Pan.
I'm just saying, it's just one of those things. But back to the riddle. I'm always in front of you, but you can never see me. You always hope the best for me, but you can never predict me. Maybe your conscience? No.
Can you can't see. Okay, yeah, you can't see your conscience, but it's not in front of you.
It's always in front of you, so it's always ahead of you. And you always wish the best for it. Could it be your future self? Like, you know, how you always
Could it be your eyelashes?
maybe. Do you wish the best for your eyelashes?
I mean, no, your eyelashes wish the best for you, as in it's, making sure dust doesn't go into your eyes.
Okay.
Or your nose.
Or what about the wind?
Your
Wind is- wind is
can
always-
come. No, it's not always
No.
in front of you.
Yeah, you're right.
Your nose. Because you
I
can't
like
see
that,
your
yeah.
nose.
You can't
really unless you do this.
No, you
Okay.
can't see it. You can't. But you always hope the best for it, so.
And no, it always hopes the best for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay,
Is
wait.
it?
You hope for the best of me. You hope the best of me. Yeah, so it's whatever's ahead of
Yes,
you.
it's hoping the best for you. So it's your nose.
Okay.
I think
that's a
it's
good
your
one.
nose. Again, guys, do not listen to us. We're just guessing. We have no idea what the answer is. We need to remind you guys.
Oh, what
because
about nemesis?
no, your nemesis can be behind you as well. What about stabbing people in the back, Mikhail?
You know the saying, make your friends close, but your enemy closer.
Is that true though? Is your enemy very close to you, Mikhail?
He's always ahead of me,
That's not a good thing for you.
Uh-oh.
If he's always ahead of you.
I need to know who my enemies are.
Good
Anyway.
question. Perhaps you need to take some time off and think about it very clearly. Map
dear.
out everything. Make sure you don't actually have a nemesis out there who's trying to get to you. That's going to be a problem.
That could be worse. I might probably have trouble sleeping now.
Yes, it's okay. You're going to be fine. But as for you guys can be as fine and even better if you happen to be the winners of today's riddle. 500 dirhams. Text us 4215 Etisalat Urdu. And a reminder, we are guessing along with you because last week some people actually listened to Mikhail and they answered and the answer was wrong. Again, we're as clueless as you are.
Yes, so
We don't know the answer.
I'm just saying, this is a disclaimer. I mean, we're making up answers,
Mm-hmm.
and if you do pick it up, I'm flattered, because you think my guess was correct.
Yeah.
But guys, we can be wrong. And most of the time we are.
Yeah.
So you guys have the chance to text us 4215 into Salantro Do. We have a couple more days of this, so that means there's a couple more 500 dirhams to give away to a few lucky winners throughout the week. We're gonna be taking.
Can I try it? Can I try it?
What is it?
Let's say the title.
For
The next segment.
Okay.
I'll try it.
Go ahead.
The Lord of the Rings. Okay, I did it. I'm so happy.
That sloppy Sunday syndrome sort of passed.
I hope. Don't say that.
Okay. No.
You know, every time you say that, it becomes worse.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes words have that kind of power.
So we're not gonna say it's getting better. It's getting the same. But anyway.
We're gonna say Super Sunday.
Super Sundays, the best Sundays ever. Coming right up next is a couple of Lord of the Rings characters are going to be hosting a podcast, and they're going to talk about all kinds of trivia, and they're going to have information and exclusive interviews. Let's talk about that coming right up next, right here on the Evening Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Evening Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
If you ever thought that you had the best name for a podcast, I'm here to tell you that you do not. Because I believe that nothing is better than this title, The Friendship Onion.
I'm a little jealous, to be honest.
Me too. That's so good.
I mean, I know we brag about like the evening karak, the afternoon karak.
But here's the thing. Even though we're not the Friendship Onion, at least we are, the Friendship Onion of Pulse 95, aren't we? We are the coolest.
You could say, yeah, we're the quirky ones here.
We hope that the other presenters are tuning in right now and they can hear us say that we are the best show here on Pulse 95. But let's go to the best podcast, apparently. That's going to be played by Dominic Monaghan and Bill Boyd, who played the Hobbit, Merry and Pippin, because they're going to be hosting an actual podcast that revolves around the Lord of the Rings.
Now, this is a big deal. And for any fan who is of the franchise, this movie came out 20 years ago. You're thinking, oh, it's, it sort of died out. No, the culture, the fan base is alive and well. I tune into the Reddit pages quite a bit, and there's still always discussions. There's a few YouTube channels that are still interpreting J.R. Tolkien's work.
I mean, it's not a 20-year-old fandom, Mikhail. It's nearly a 100-year-old fandom.
It is. You're right. It's crazy what Lord of the Rings is, and as we're all waiting for the series, this is a nice little middle ground to sort of like to help us kill the time. And none better than Billy and Dominic, because these guys are known to be like the life and the heart of the Lord of the Rings films, even inside the film and outside. And if fans of the films have watched probably all sorts of behind the scenes videos, we know all sorts of weird trivias about specific scenes about the films. And
you mean that scene about him kicking the helmet and breaking his foot?
This is the well-known one.
That's the one that everybody knows. But apparently,
believe me, if you sit down with me, I could tell you some other like little trivia for every
I would
scene of something.
murder you if you sit down. Like, I'm trying to watch a movie for the first time and you've watched it 20 times and you're telling me, well, actually, this is what happened. I will murder you on the spot, to be honest, Yani.
Fair enough.
I mean, if it's the second time I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, I understand. You can tell me more about the trivia. But if it's the first time, not. There is a time and
I'll try to control my temptations. It's very hard. But this is really cool because any fan out there would love to hear more stories from the production of this film, and they're gonna actually have interviews with some of the members of the cast, the crew members. They're gonna answer some fan questions and so much more. This is like pure fan service at its best, and I think these two guys are like, their personalities are amazing. They're very talented.
They have chemistry.
They have so much chemistry. They're like the life and soul of the films and the team. And honestly, we can't get enough of them. Anytime we see them on videos or interviews, like you just like they were meant for those roles as the hobbits, and it feels like they even bring that out even outside the film whenever now that it's been 20 years. So I think they really have what it takes to make the Friendship Onion work. Now they did like a bit of a marketing on a recent statement. They were saying that it was actually what's his name, Dominic, who was saying that he's obligated to make a glowing comment about his podcast because he's actually he has Billy Billy abducted him, and he's holding him for ransom for the price of 44 bananas. Please send him bananas, as Dominic would say. And if anybody's interested, it's going to be launching on YouTube as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify on the 18th of May. So be sure to check it out. I know I will. And guys, don't forget, we also have our little podcast available on all platforms as well.
How can we forget?
Just a little selfish plug-in. But
yes, shameless plug-in. If you guys want to listen to us, if you missed out, always check out any of Pulse 95's podcasts, especially either the afternoon karak for when we go back to our old timings, or the evening karak. Just search it up wherever you listen to podcasts, and that includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Rami's SoundCloud. Again, wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you miss our faces, you want to see the various emotions that we go through as we, delve deeper into all kinds of stories, you can always check out our YouTube. Just search up Pulse 95 Radio and you'll find all our videos up there. Coming right up next, when the pent-up emotions and everything comes out, it is a complete the story segment. That's going to be a good one. Lots of mystery, maybe comedy, maybe some fantasy, action, thriller, suspense, horror.
And a twist, maybe?
A twist, maybe. All of the above coming right up next, right here on the Evening Karak.
Once upon a time, in Sharjah, impromptu storytelling with Evening Karak.
Yes, we brought back the storytelling segment that we've been doing throughout the month of Ramadan. Basically, what we do is we have a story prompt that either of us has picked. Today is my turn. And then we just keep on going back and forth until we have some sort of cohesive or non-cohesive story. And there might be an ending, there might not be an ending. It just depends on, what happens and what we see is fit. You can always join us and finish off the story for us or complete it with us if you text us 4215 Itisalat or do. So today's story prompt is, when she walked outside the next morning, she realized his curse must have worked.
Okay, this one's a really tough premise, and I was thinking of so many ways that I could take it.
Is it you going very much too deep into it again?
You know me.
Make it simple. Make it simple. You can do it.
I'll make it
and
very,
then
very
simple. We delve into it later on. Make it simple.
All right, so let's set the tone here. She walks out. She realizes that the curse has been activated. Mm-hmm. Okay, so makes her think. Hold up. Okay, so the character, right, as she walks out, she realizes that this is not normal of her. She never goes out because she's a bit of an introvert, and she has I would say a minor symptom of what we call agoraphobia, which is the fear of being outside. So for her to be outside means that, okay, the curse is working. That means what basically happens is because whenever she walks into an inside area, especially her home, her home slowly but gradually starts to sort of close in. It becomes a lot more claustrophobic. So think of the rooms almost like they're almost converging. They're getting smaller and smaller. The longer she stays inside an area, which now she's forced to go out. That's the curse.
What in the Junji Ito prompt is this?
So yeah, that's the curse right now, and she's walking outside. She's trying to figure out, how do I break this? And who is this person that has implemented this curse?
Well,
what can we do?
She walked outside, and obviously she panics. Obviously, she can't go back in. If she goes back in, the house shrinks. If she goes to any closed space, the place shrinks as well. So she's freaking out. What is going on? And she looks in front of her, and she finds him.
Oh, he's standing there.
He is there. He's laughing. He's like, you asked for it. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, let's say, a monkey's paw kind of thing, where she wanted to get over her feeling of, the whole antisocialness that she has, the fear of leaving the house and
But
whatnot.
she may have expressed it to the wrong person.
She said it out in the air, and she triggered somebody, and that is some sort of, let's say, some kind of fairy. And he's a little bit mischievous. He's not the type of fairy who would listen to me like the fairy from the first episode. Mm-hmm. She was very nice. This one, however, he's not too nice. Whatever you tell him, he'd give you what you want, but he's gonna play around with it and give you a twist. Mm-hmm. And obviously the girl is on the verge of tears. He's like, what did you do? This is not what I asked for. He's like, that is exactly what you asked for. It is kind of your problem for not being as specific as you are. Yeah, as you could have been. And it's like, again, sort of like a Rumpelstiltskin kind of thing, basically.
So she's desperate now. She's trying to chase after him, but every time she runs towards him, it's almost like he's equally making the distance away from her. And she really can't get to him. She kind of realizes that. So she screams in front of him. She screams at his face. She's like, "What must I do to break the curse?" And he tells her, he's like, "Well, you got what you wanted, but you lost what you had. The only way to get what you want back is to face your fears, to overcome the very thing that has been halting your whole social life." And so it's a bit confusing. She's like, I don't know what to do. Do I talk to people? Do I stay outside? He's like, well, I think you already know the answer to that. Aisha's like, what?
You can't just create a story and then throw it out, like figure it out yourself. You're basically doing exactly what the fairy's doing.
Being vague.
Be vague and you figure it out. The thing is, obviously, as we've already established, the fairy is not a nice person. So she by now she figured that out. So she's also weary of what he said. Is he actually saying the truth? Is he trying to help her, or is he just messing around? He wants to cause her a lot of distress, perhaps, and just, rewind everything. He's a fairy. He might be bored. He's mischievous. He's doing whatever he wants. So he's like, fine, I will face my fears. And it just happens that there is a debate today at school, and her friend had asked her to join in, to be part of it, because one of the members happened to fall sick and she cannot make it. So she's like, okay, fine, I will face my fears, I will get in front of everybody, and I will speak. He's like,
Okay.
Figure it out.
This is interesting.
It's up to you.
This is interesting. So I'm gonna continue with the fact that she has to do this debate, and the curse gets broken when she's able to break away from her own fear of being outside, right?
Yeah.
Or let's say it being sociable. So she gets to the debate. She has all of her arguments, her notes. She's kind of shaking, and the debate begins, right? But she notices as her opposition is arguing and she has to get ready, the room is now slowly converging. So she realizes she has a very short amount of time to get to complete the debate and break the curse before the rooms crush her to pieces. Now the thing is that the curse is only implemented on her. Nobody else is feeling the room converging. It's only her.
Neither can they see it.
Something like that.
Well, that's quite interesting. Let's take a break and we'll continue after that. Let's see what happens to our protagonist and what happens to the fairy as well. Is he messing around or does he actually want to help her? Coming right up next, right here on the Evening Karak.
Once upon a time, in Sharjah, impromptu storytelling with Evening Karak.
Last time we left our protagonist as she has to deal with a curse. Now, the curse was brought on by a very mischievous fairy who wanted to do sort of a monkey's paw kind of thing, where she just felt like saying that, I want to get over my fear of facing people, facing crowds, and leaving my house. And the fairy was like, okay, fine. And what had ended up happening is that every time she is forced into a small building, any sort of building, in an enclosed place, she feels that everything is closing in on her, whether it's literally or, the feeling of claustrophobia, but she feels it closing in on her and slowly crushing her. And the fairy kind of told her that, there's only one way to fix it, and you know how to fix it, to get over and get rid of this curse. And she decides to face everybody, a full audience, when she joins her friend's debate team during a debate that same morning. But obviously, if you guys remember that if she is in a closed place, the walls start closing in on her very slowly. So that's when she realizes that, one, she needs to not only literally face her fears, face all these strangers, but also she needs to figure it out and get over that feeling as soon as possible because the walls are closing in on her.
Yes.
Now, when she has that realization, Obviously, it makes her feel worse, and she realizes that every time she freaks out, the walls close in faster.
She's wasting time.
She's wasting time, and the walls close in faster. So she tries to remember any sort of breathing techniques, stuff to get her mind off of it. You know, the whole imagine your audience naked, or, you know, just imagine them as something funny, like a bunch of chickens. They're not humans. Just thinking of them of something that is harmless. And she's trying so hard that she doesn't realize that they're actually, everybody's watching her right now because they're calling her name, and it is her turn.
And so she gets her papers, she's got all her notes, she's shaken, but she realizes, like, there's not enough time. The world around her is converging. The walls are getting closer. It's almost like she can't breathe anymore. So she takes it easy. She takes it like she's telling herself, I can do this. So she holds the shaking off. She reads out her argument, and she can see the judge nodding, you know, in agreeance. And so immediately the opposition are writing their rebuttals, and she's like, wait, this could work, you know, if my argument is doing fine during the debate, maybe I can keep doing it. And so the opposition go right ahead, they say their argument, and immediately she is becoming a little bit more focused. She is writing down her own personal argument. Her teammates are talking with her. She's trying to ignore the walls getting closer and closer, but she's just trying to focus on what matters now, the debate, her classmates. And so now more than ever, she is doing whatever she can to talk with her colleagues, doing everything she can to socialize and just break away from herself. And they get to that last argument, right? And it's her turn, and the walls, she completely forgot that the walls are now getting so close. It's almost shoulder to shoulder, right? And it's almost like crushing her, but she's trying to get her last argument out, and she's like almost stuttering, breaking, you know, just trying to break through that, you know, that challenge, and she's trying to get one word after the other. And as she finishes that last piece of her argument, the walls break away.
Mikhail, you finished the story.
No, there's a lot more to it.
How is there a lot more to it?
Okay, so
It's my turn.
Okay, the walls are crushing her.
It's my turn, Mikhail.
Go ahead.
The walls are crushing her, and as she's trying to finish the words, trying to finish everything, she gets closer. She's very much into it. She's walking, you know, she's getting into it. She's getting passionate. She trips and falls.
Okay.
From the stage.
Okay, but the walls are still closing in.
No, she trips and falls off the stage, and everything goes completely black, and she keeps on falling and falling and falling and falling and falling until she reaches the ground, and she just hears a laugh, just a very loud laugh.
Oh no, this is terrible.
And it is like, you tried your best. And she obviously starts feeling, you know, this isn't real. What is happening? This can't be it. It isn't the end of everything.
Okay.
There has to be something. What is happening? And that's when she realizes.
Don't do it.
It's your turn.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
Why does it have to be sad? It could be action.
Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to think of something here. Okay, because the music, it sets me up a bit.
So make it more action, because it's still...
Okay, let's do some action.
Okay.
Okay, actually, you know, let's do this one. I think we never did this one before. No, we're going to do the other. I'm just trying to, because I need a mood, right?
Okay, what do you feel? Do you feel it's sad, or is it going to be suspense?
Okay, so she's on the ground. She fell from this bottomless, almost abyss. And she's hearing laughter all over. The man who made the curse
The fairy. Yes.
Is laughing at her. And the walls are getting almost...
لا خلاص ما في walls.
There's no more walls.
She fell.
She fell.
There are no walls.
Okay.
You're so obsessed with the walls. We moved on from the walls.
Okay.
We moved on.
Okay. But when she's on the floor, she's hearing all this laughter.
Yeah.
She notices that she still has her notes right beside her. She grabs the notes, and she realizes that she still didn't finish her argument. So she reads out that last sentence. She's almost out of breath because, you know, it was a heavy fall.
Obviously.
But the second she finishes that argument, everything around her just snaps back to reality, where she's sitting in that debate room. And then she hears the whole crowd cheering, you know, because her argument is pretty good. And it's got everybody going crazy. and she realized, okay, could this be it? Could the curse have been broken? You know, and she because she's back on the table. She's like, oh my God, this is it. I think I've overcome the curse, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone's happy for her. Colleagues are hugging her. They're all celebrating. They get the trophy, and for first time in her life, she's walking out of the school with a few new friends. And they're all talking with her. They're asking her, like, how was the debate and whatnot. But she does notice in the distance as she's walking by the ferryman.
The ferryman.
The ferryman.
The ferryman.
Yes. As she's walking, she notices him standing beside a tree, and he's smiling. Mm-hmm. And she gets the feeling that, okay, maybe she's overcome this curse. But maybe this is not over.
Because he winks at her and he's like, bring it on. And that's the end of our story.
And that's the end of the story. And the end. Oh my God.
We made it. Had to stop Mikhail there with the walls. What's up with you and the walls? You got so obsessed with those.
I don't know. I just had this thing where, like, if the walls symbolize her inability to, voice out, like as if it's choking her from speaking. But if she can bring out that last word, the walls would break. Something like that.
Yeah, but that's cliched, Mikhail. We do other type of cliches like falling into an endless abyss.
I like this one. This one could have gone in so many different ways.
Yeah, it was a good one. And that is the end of our story. Tune in maybe in a couple of days. We're going to bring it back and we're going to continue. Perhaps it's going to be our last story segment. So stay tuned for that for another day. But coming right up next, we've got that review of Saturday Night Live, Season 46, Episode 18, starring none other than Elon Musk, and so much other stories, including some Marvel stories, some rumors, some stuff here and there, all of these things happening. So stay tuned to the Evening Karak right here on Pulse 95.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Evening Karak with Aisha Almazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
On Pulse 95.
It is the second hour of the best show on Pulse 95. Dear other presenters, we're really sorry, but that is the truth. Based on the various reviews by yours truly, Aisha and Mikhail, we believe it's the best. And I believe even RR agrees with us that it is one of the best shows. I believe if we speak to the office boys, they also will agree.
You know that saying, you got to save the best for last. So, I mean,
we are the last show.
Exactly. So it's always the best.
We're just saying. But enough humble bragging, if you would call that humble. Coming up, we have that Elon Musk SNL episode review. We have a lot to speak about in concerns with that show and that episode. And it also shows, if anything, it's evidence of the reason why I dropped SNL several years ago and the reason why I never went back to it. I mean, when I watched this episode, I'm like, yeah, I know why now. I know exactly why.
I think you need to go back and watch some parts of Mad TV. They used to be a competitor to SNL.
I think I remember it. I used to watch
comedy,
it on YouTube.
So great. I can see why at the time it was one of the best. But anyway, we're gonna talk about it later this hour. Also, it seems like Aisha just can't let it go.
I can't.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a rumor that MCU might be bringing a reboot for that.
A soft reboot to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because we spoke last week about the fact that they kind of officially said that it's not part of the MCU canon, and I am very upset about that. I understand, but I'm upset, and I believe that a lot of fans probably feel the same way. Also coming up next is Kingsman's creator apparently setting up a new spy series other than the originals at Netflix, and it's very interesting. I mean, we love our spies. I feel like this decade is a year of spies. Obviously, high fantasy. And please bring back pirates. We are waiting for those pirate shows and movies. Bring them all back. And of course, you've got that riddle. If you guys haven't heard it, don't worry. We're going to play it in a tiny bit. Make sure your phones are ready. There's a lot of people who have gotten a good head start ahead of you. Text us 4215 Etisalat or do and tell us what are you going to be using those 500 dirhams for, and of course the right answer.
All right, guys, we're playing that riddle right now, and throughout the hour, all we ask is you listen well, and again, text us 4215 Etisalat or do.
Does anybody else feel like a fried egg? But you can call me the Riddler.
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
can never see me. You hope for the best of me, but can never predict me. I'm always in front of you, but you can never see me. You hope for the best of me, but can never predict me.
What am I? The awesome Sharjah Ramadan festival is back. Solve the riddle and win 500 dirhams cash daily. It's also your chance to win wow prizes from participating outlets. Organised by Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Evening Karak with S.H.I.E.L.D and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
There's absolutely no doubt that everybody's getting ready for Eid right now. And we've got the Sharjah Cooperative Society. They have your back. They're running some special promotions. So hurry up and stock up. Eid offers started in the Sharjah Co-op on all food and non-food categories until the 16th of May in all their branches. And of course, you can always do some online shopping if you want to avoid the crowds at sharjahcoop.ae. That is www.sharjahcoop.ae. And of course, today and tomorrow, you can save more and win more with their offers in the fashion, games, home decor, outdoor, and garden sections until tomorrow. So if you guys want to save up, you know what to do. Head down to the Sharjah Co-op. And also, for each 100 dirhams you spend, you will get a 20% discount. Head down to your nearest Sharjah Co-op. They're available across Sharjah. But if you don't feel like it, again, do some online shopping on www.sharjahcoop.ae.
Is it an epic or epic failure? The Big Review. Movies, games, and TV in focus.
Pulse 95.
Okay, we're going to be talking about the Saturday Night Live latest episode. I think it's episode 18 of the 46th season.
Yeah.
With the highlight is Elon Musk is the key host, the key guest of that show. I've been talking about it for the past week, and Aisha has a few unsavory comments and just some personal criticisms. She believes that Elon doesn't have what it takes to host the SNL.
I'm not wrong. I was absolutely not wrong. And even his mother, although his mother at least was just a cameo kind of thing, it was kind of a little bit awkward during
it's
the
very
introduction.
scripted, I know.
That's the
they're
thing.
just not television people. They have to, you could tell they're reading off the television prompts.
See, that's what I was trying to tell you all these weeks ago, is that when you have those kind of guests who are not prepared to be on their toes, to do these kind of episodes, they fail miserably. And I know that Elon Musk kind of pointed out that he has Asperger's, and perhaps that also contributed to the fact that he is not really good at acting or doing anything. But in general, honestly, with the exception of the chat on Mars, that's the only one that actually made me laugh, and barely laugh, because Pete Davidson is kind of, this whole deadpan humor is kind of funny.
Yeah.
This whole acting like an idiot and whatnot. But when I'm looking at the what is it called? The Zoomers Hospital, that was...
Gen Z Hospital. Okay.
Gen Z Hospital was...
I got a few chuckles.
I'm like, no.
I got a few chuckles.
No, I could not.
The one part where Elon Musk, because he plays as a doctor and everybody else are like these Gen Z kids, and they're using like very internet terms like no cap, and literally
Bestie.
dead, bestie, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's sometimes where Elon Musk, like the way he says these words, I chuckled a little. Like I could tell he's not from that generation. So that's the joke, and I think that's what makes it funny. When he's like, no cap. And I'm
You know
like,
what? I need you to watch the Taika Waititi episode so you can really tell what is actual comedy.
Okay.
You need to.
It was, why I found it funny, just generally, Elon, his acting, is that, he is not made for this kind of performances, but because he's trying so hard, okay, he's like awkward, and he reads the script word by word, even like you can hear him say, ha ha, as if it's scripted. but for some reason I find it awkwardly hilarious.
See,
Like,
that's-
it's cute. I'm like,
do you
poor guy,
remember-
he's on live television. He's trying his best, you know? And if this is his best, I still give him A for effort, honestly.
Do you remember also last week when I said that I'm pretty sure you're gonna laugh at the way he delivers it
Yeah.
rather than the fact that it is actually funny?
It's so bad, it's good. That's how I see it, honestly.
The only, honestly, besides the actual episode, the second tragedy that happened was the way Dogecoin just went.
It dropped.
really badly.
From that one segment.
Oh my God. Somebody actually wrote, the moment SNL started, it literally went down like this steep. So everybody who had Dogecoins, they had to sell it or get
Pull
rid
out
of it.
quick.
Pull out. Or maybe the ones who were, thinking of the future, maybe they went out and bought a lot of them. So it depends on what your point of view is and how you want to invest in it. But it's just hilarious. It just tells you that the entire cryptocurrency thing, stock markets, and everything is fake, basically. That's something that I keep on saying.
I did like the skit though when they interviewed Elon.
Oh, no, I
and,
hated it.
And he kept saying like,
was-
what is Dogecoin? And he would explain it, and he's like, yeah, that's great, but and he pulls out $10. He's like, yeah, that's so this is real money. And he's like, yeah, but Dogecoin is digital. I'm like, okay, great, because I want to expand my portfolio, and I was wondering, what is Dogecoin? And they keep asking the same question.
The weekend update is usually one of my favorite segments. Like, if the entirety of the episode is boring, you can usually depend on Colin and Michael to actually uplift the episode in one way. Like, they kind of made me laugh, more or less. But when they had Elon Musk come into the cryptocurrency thing, I kind of like, Again, the best part was that whole, that skit when, again, what's his name? Chat on Mars. Chat
okay.
on Mars was good. The Wario one was... I'm just... by the way, do you know that Princess Peach was played by Grimes?
No, I did not know that.
I was trying to look at her. I was like, there's none of the cast members. I was trying to figure out who she was. And then I just read, like, maybe a couple of minutes ago that it's actually Grimes. And I was like, oh, okay. No wonder it felt kind of weird and off-putting. No offense to Grimes and her fans, but it was kind of weird. It was funny at the end of it that it turned out to be about, about the governor and all whatnot. And it's the whole discrimination thing. That part was funny. But I feel like the cast itself kind of like made it kind of awkward to watch again.
The Wild West skit was the weirdest one. Like, it was just poking fun. What if like Elon Musk was in the Wild West and he would pitch the same things that he's pitching today?
Yeah, again.
I kind of get it, but the execution was a bit off.
Do you see that? Honestly, I'm glad they didn't listen to him and they didn't put in any of the sketches he wanted to put in. All these ideas, but at the same time, it's not like these Saturday Night Live writers did a good job either. Again, it shows exactly the reason why I dropped it a while back. I think maybe perhaps season 42, 43 was like, khalas, that was
peak.
Not peak, but that was like the last time they were funny. Even though I'm kind of looking forward to the upcoming episodes, there's somebody I'm trying to remember who I'm kind of interested in. So we can see maybe they can, I don't know, uplift it, bring it back somehow. I feel like maybe it's the cast themselves. They're not as good as they used to be. Maybe the newer ones are not as good as the previous ones.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we all know the golden era of Maya Rudolph and
Tina Fey, Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler, Seth Meyers, all of these people. That was the golden age of SNL. Now, it's kind of average, to say the least.
I'd recommend, if you guys want to watch some of the skits, just go on YouTube. Saturday Night Live has a playlist, and you can watch all the skits separately. One thing that I will say, even though some of the skits does give a sort of like leave a bad taste, you can wash it off with Miley Cyrus. She plays a few good performances.
Oh yeah, she does.
She does Plastic Hearts. She does Without You with the OG singer, and she does nice little tribute Happy Mother's Day song as well. So yeah, it was nice. Miley Cyrus kind of saved the show a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice. Final verdicts for this SNL. You're not even giving a review point.
I mean, should we be giving a point? Just yes or no? No.
I say some of the skits. Just go to the playlist and take your pick.
That is actually how I watched it, by the way.
Yeah, same here.
I couldn't find the episode illegally.
Alternative none. So we have to go
We're
back to the actual channel.
There weren't any. I actually found a YouTube channel that uploaded the entirety of the episode, but it had some grim music in the background simply because they didn't want YouTube
to be tracked or flagged.
Exactly. But it made it so funny because they're joking, right? And meanwhile, there's like this really grim sad music in the background, very serious, and you're like, I cannot focus because the music is so upsetting. So I had to go back to the episodes, and apparently it was the first time that they actually simultaneously have it live internationally.
That's good.
I mean, they could have done that a long time ago with a lot of actors and actresses and singers, because
With 46 seasons now, I'm just saying, you know.
they should have done it a long time ago. But then they probably want to divert all their traffic to Peacock, which again is not available internationally. But it's so weird how a lot of those streaming services work. I know that it could be an issue with copyrights and whatnot, but at the same time, if you do these things, a lot of people are going to watch it across the world, especially if it's somebody as big as Elon Musk. They are actually going to go and watch it. Coming up next, we've got that Marvel rumor that perhaps, maybe, we might get a soft reboot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I've got some more stories to talk about. Don't worry about that. We're going to be talking about Kingsman as well, and that Riddle is still ongoing. Text us 4215. It's Salat or do. Again, 4215. Send in those texts and you might be the lucky winner of 500 dirhams.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Evening Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
It's no obvious thing now that Netflix has been putting a lot of money into big blockbusters, action flicks, and now even they're in the spy scene. One big blockbuster they're working on is the Gray Man franchise, starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. Oh boy, oh boy. But now they're tapping into a potentially new spy franchise, and this time they're going to be bringing in the creator of Kingsman.
I'm down for that, obviously. Who isn't down for that?
I mean, you say Kingsman, and that's it. Because I've been waiting for
sold.
I'm waiting for that prequel. But if you can bring that same creator and bring that same, because like the thing about Kingsman is it takes the James Bond sort of style, inspiration, and it gives it a whole new refreshing twist and just a take on the spy genre. It has a mix of comedy with over the top action and some decent villains. I'll be honest, and
Yes.
I love the whole Kingsman, and now they have the Statesman, which is even going to get a spin-off series. But, to step away from that and make a whole new spy world, I wonder what that's going to be like.
I would love it. I mean, Mark Miller is very smart. He knows what he's doing. And he's keeping the details about the entire series to himself and under wraps. But at the same time, I believe that all the fans are optimistic about it. We know that it's in good hands. He does have the ability to kind of strike that middle ground between comedy and seriousness. If you guys remember Kingsman, the first part and the second part, even though it was a little bit mature for some audiences, it nailed it when it comes to the comedy. It brought in that crude comedy, but it was just the right amount. Don't you think that?
The Kingsman creator is actually, from what I understand here, is going to take a new spy genre with a new property, and it's going to be 6-episode live-action television series. Only. I mean, I feel like that is always the case with Netflix. Is they start off a bit small. They greenlight somewhat of a.
They usually go up to like an 8 to 12 episodes.
I
so
think
it's
if they feel really confident,
But that's not one of the first or only projects they've been working with Miller. That's why I'm like, do they not trust him, or is it from his point of view that he doesn't want anything more than 6 episodes? I feel like honestly, even though sometimes you can wrap up a very good story within 6 episodes, we are obviously of the opinion that you don't need to drag something beyond its point, whether it's in terms of seasons, in terms of how long a trilogy is or a series is. But I still think that 6 episodes, depending on how long they are, maybe if they're over an hour, I know over an hour might be a lot, but if you take into consideration a lot of British series, they're usually very short, but each and every episode is quite long. It's up to like an hour, 15, 20 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
It can be that long, but there's sometimes only 3 episodes. And that kind of does a good job of telling an entire story, or enough of it where it starts off like a beginning, middle, and an end throughout the 3 episodes. So we'll just need to wait and see if it's enough or not. Or it could be as well that he's making it in a way where it kind of makes space for a sequel.
You're right. I think the way I see it is it's just like anything in Hollywood or in the entertainment industry. When you're tapping into a new intellectual property, you want to introduce a new franchise to the world, it is a bit of a calculated risk to all the people that are putting a stake on it. Netflix, Mark Miller, and everything in between. 6 episodes means like that they're going down sort of like a strategic investment, and in hopes that it really does pick up and this becomes a potentially good spy franchise. Netflix is gonna probably announce right at the end of that last episode, it's like, yeah, we have like 5 more seasons. Don't worry. They're gonna they will do like the Witcher thing eventually.
They can do that. They can easily do that. But spy genre fans rejoice. Kingsman fans rejoice because Mark Miller is gonna be. I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to blow our minds up. If he doesn't, you can hold me accountable to what I said.
In the meantime,
yeah,
where's that Kingsman prequel?
We've coming soon. It's coming very soon. Don't worry.
I want to see my Rasputin evil villain guy.
He's going to be coming very soon. Don't worry about that. But coming up next, coming sooner than that prequel, is that rumor about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Apparently, it might be getting a soft reboot. Stay tuned for that and so much more right here on the Evening Karak.
Speculation, gossip, or hoax. Rumor has it.
In my opinion, if anything simultaneously does not deserve a reboot and deserves a reboot, it is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you guys have never heard of it, you're missing out because it kind of fills in a lot of Marvel-related gaps within the past couple of years. You could consider it one of the first MCU TV shows until last week when Disney Plus kind of retconned it and kind of threw it into the Marvel Legacy category. And what that basically means is that anything in the Marvel Legacy category means that it's a Marvel movie, Marvel TV show, but it has nothing to do with the MCU. Now, that is both a good and bad thing because a lot of things that were explored in Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were way ahead of their time. For example, the Skrulls. They were talking about the Skrulls all the way back in 2013, 2014. Meanwhile, we got introduced to them back in 2019 with the Captain Marvel, like officially introduced to them back then. Meanwhile, again, a long time ago in Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we've got a lot of I'm not going to say the Inhumans, for example. We've got the Inhumans who were introduced all the way back then, and they actually hinted a long time ago that we were going to get an Inhumans movie. But that did not happen, and there are rumors that we might be getting an Inhumans movie eventually, maybe in Phase 5 and Phase 6. We have no idea. But again, they kind of retconned it, and it's sad because it just was very deep. The characters were beautiful.
Yeah.
One of the most important characters being Phil Coulson. He is part of the MCU. If you guys remember in the Avengers, he died in 2012 in that movie. But then he was resurrected in the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they explained the reason why. I'm not going to ruin it if you guys haven't watched it. But, it's like now, my question is Phil Coulson dead? That's one thing. And what is happening with all the other characters and all the other people that were involved in it? I know that some stories should be retconned.
I think it's because of those questions that it creates room for continuity errors for the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Which is why they had to, respectfully put down Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But with this rumor, I think there is that little thread of hope that maybe...
It's very tiny.
Maybe that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can come back and maybe combine itself because there's S.H.I.E.L.D. and there's S.W.O.R.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. deals with the affairs of Earth, but also S.W.O.R.D. deals with the affairs of space. Maybe those can be combined together.
If you guys remember as well that the whole thing with Hydra back in Captain America...
Civil War.
No, Captain America, what do you call it? Captain America Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, if you guys have watched Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you'd see how that completely connected. It was actually going simultaneously with the MCU movies. The whole, Hail Hydra thing happened there as well. And there were some dire consequences because obviously this is focused on actual S.H.I.E.L.D. and what they're doing. So the entirety of the twist of, what happened in Winter Soldier happened there. The stuff that happened in Thor Dark World also happened in Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatnot. So what I'm trying to say is that there's so many salvageable parts. And they also dealt with a lot of time jumping and even space jumping as well. And there were some really, really cool characters that I hope they bring back. One of them being Phil Coulson, Quake as well. Again, that's kind of a tiny bit spoiler, but it's not that much of a spoiler. Fitz and Simmons, my favorite character. And also Mockingbird. She is amazing. Funny thing is that the actress who plays Mockingbird was initially, whose name is Bobby, she was initially supposed to play Wonder Woman a long time ago. There was a Wonder Woman TV show that was greenlit. They did a pilot, they didn't like it. Even though she is, oh my God, her action scenes are beautiful. Put Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow to shame with the way she fights and whatnot. And even the dynamic with her ex-husband is just hilarious and it's very funny. There's a lot of, the found family trope. That is what the Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is all about. So I feel like bring it back somehow. Like there are some elements that can be salvageable and they can retcon the rest of it.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, again, I would like the idea that Disney Plus can take the S.H.I.E.L.D. and take S.W.O.R.D., put them all together, and there could be episodes where it focuses on the mysteries of the Earth and mysteries of something beyond our world.
Also Hydra, because we know that they're still kind of there, aren't they?
A little stain somewhere.
Kind of they're there, so probably S.H.I.E.L.D. is still dealing with that.
But this is again just a rumor and Aisha's greatest wishful thinking.
Holding on to it, like dear life, like please just give me back some of these characters. They're really good characters.
Have enough faith. Maybe Disney Plus will.
I'm trying to have some kind of faith. I mean, if I can call Kevin Feige, I'd go and beg him and be like, please, just do something about it. You have the ability to somehow introduce it into this story. Coming up next, a shark attack survivor had to go to court to fight for the right to keep the tooth that was left in his surfboard. It is insane. But you know what? I've got some opinions about that. As usual, stay tuned for that. Coming right up next, right here on Pulse 95.
Not in the news?
Not in the news. Weirdness that happened
Today.
True story.
I think it's a little bit insulting that if you went through a life or death situation with a shark and the shark just happened to leave some sort of gift for you, besides losing your foot, that is his entire leg, most of his leg, was taken away by that very hungry shark, apparently, very aggressive shark. And the gift he left was its tooth. And apparently due to some laws, he wasn't allowed to keep it.
Yes.
But I think it's insulting that he cannot keep it.
Well,
I had to go through all of that to keep it.
Now, just to give you guys an idea of what happened here, the story talks about this Australian surfer, Chris Blouse, who lost his leg and was in a coma for 10 days after he was attacked in South Australia. And for the past 6 years, he has been trying to acquire an exemption to keep a shark tooth that was literally stuck to the surfboard, because under the state's Fishery Management Act, it is illegal to possess, sell, or purchase any part of a white shark's, because they're considered as rare species, and the fines can go up to $100,000. And he had to fight this in court.
Question, he's obviously not killing the shark. The shark was trying to kill him. Even though, yes, we know that the shark is being aggressive because it probably was confused, it was probably a mistake, it's not the shark's fault. But this man went through something incredibly tragic and scary and traumatizing. He lost 3/4 of his leg. The least you can do is not drag him through court for 6 to 7 years so he can get custody. Yes, custody of a tiny shark tooth. I say custody because it feels like it's, it's like something special.
It's more than a souvenir. It's more like it's you know how like you have a piece of item that is very sentimental to you. It reminds you of something, whether it could be a negative or positive thing, or even something traumatic. But I think for the surfer, it's more like a sign of like it's you look at it and you appreciate your life. You know, you're grateful that you're alive.
Exactly.
And it's a reminder of a great ordeal, of something that is almost like you can imagine. He thought he almost died in that situation.
That's the thing. He already went through so much, a 10-day coma, probably a lot of physiotherapy and pain, and also probably psychology and therapy courses and therapy meetings to get back to normal, somewhat have an average life again. And you just track him through court since 2015.
It's an example of law sometimes not being, I would
Bureaucracy.
say, universally just, you know? Because this seems like a very unique case.
He didn't actually go ahead and kill the shark. And he actually wants to keep the tooth. He's not going to go ahead and sell it. Like Mikhail said, it is sort of something sentimental in a very traumatizing way, but it's sentimental in a way as a reminder of the day that he had survived.
Now, what's luckily is that since he's been, dealing with this legality, it was only after a local politician heard about this case and actually granted an exemption. So, luckily enough, the good old surfer has finally been able to possess the white shark teeth. And but again, this is one of those stories where it's like, this shouldn't have prolonged for this long.
Exactly. I feel upset on his behalf, and Hamda never got bitten by a shark. I don't think that's possible for me. I don't want to tempt fate, but I can't swim. So I think I should be worried about drowning more than getting bitten by a shark.
I think as long as you wear your floaties, you're good to, and
then I'll die of hypothermia.
Do you ever go into a pool, or do you ever go to the ocean?
Do I need to go through the whole story right now? Okay, once upon a time, I used to go to swimming classes.
Okay.
But I think
I remember this one, yeah.
Our coach didn't really care about the newbies, the bunch of kids. She ignored us completely because she went to the elder girls because they had an Olympics team sort of thing. They had an actual competing team. So she used to focus on them and ignore us completely. So that was completely on her. I still hold a grudge against her. It's been over 10 years, but it was her fault. And then what happened is that because she barely taught us, she'd give us out of maybe 4 or 5 lessons, she taught us twice maybe. And again, for 10 minutes, then she'd go over to the elder girls. And one day during the classes, by then, by the way, there's only 2 of us left. We went from maybe 10 of us to 2 of us. That's how bad it was. I should have taken it as a sign. My mom should have dragged me out a long time ago. But by the 4th or 5th lesson, she kind of goes okay, you two, go to the deep side. And we're like, excuse me? She's like, you remember what I taught you? Just float. And I'm like, huh?
Oh,
it's
no.
Okay, fine, I will float. I was too scared to say no. She obviously threw me in. I jumped in, sorry, she didn't throw me in. I jumped in. I floated somehow. As you can see, I'm alive. And I got out. It was my friend's turn. She was the only one left. We became friends, obviously. And she kind of said no, and she ran off. She ran off, and the very pregnant coach ran after her around the pool. 1, you're pregnant. Why are you running? 2, it's the pool. Nobody should be running around the pool. And she slipped.
Oh.
Yeah. Obviously, she's fine. Alhamdulillah, she was fine. But I was probably maybe 8, and I was like, oh my God, what just happened? And
because of this.
Yes, and also I was a good girl. She made me go back again. And I did, but when I left, I was like, we're never coming back again.
So this is the byproduct of reckless teaching.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a shame.
Exactly. So I don't remember her name, but it was all your fault, Coach.
I hope that there's a day where, maybe I can take you to some place and just teach you that swimming and a pool or ocean can be fun, And
no, there's sharks there.
Try to reverse that trauma.
Question, Mikhail. If somebody breaks into your house, what will you do?
If somebody breaks into my house immediately, okay.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I actually have a hammer that's under my desk.
Exactly. So why would I want to break into the house of the shark and the fish and the jellyfish and the octopus and the anemones? Why would I do that? Let me stay on the land and just watch people from afar.
Okay, you got to play it safe. There's nothing wrong with that. Guys, do text us 4215 Intisalat Urdu. I know this guy. Congratulations to Chris for being able to keep his little shark tooth as a sentimental reminder. But you let us know, what is a sentimental reminder to you? That's something I'd love to hear from you guys. And also, make sure your phones are ready, because this is your last chance to win the 500 dirham cash courtesy.
Not last. Last
For
chance today.
Yes, for
Today. Have to clarify
today.
that.
Okay, I'm going to play the riddle just one more time. Let me put it here for you guys so you can get a chance. Again, 4215. Intisalat or do. Get to it, answer, and you could be the next winner for today, only here on the Evening Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Evening Karak with Aisha Al-Nazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
It is time, guys. It is time to pick our lucky winner of today. The riddle was to say the least, was kind of messing around with our minds. I was incredibly convinced that it was nose. Apparently, it's not nose. I'm honestly, you know what? If Monica's listening to us right now, I'd like to say that I do not trust what you sent us. I do not think that the answer you gave us is the correct answer because nose just makes a lot of sense if you think about it. If you actually listen to the riddle and it goes, I'm always in front of you, but you can never see me. You hope for the best of me, but can never predict me. Your nose sometimes gets runny, doesn't it? And it's unpredictable.
Well, we can't always.
It gets blocked. It's unpredictable.
You know, maybe there's somewhere in this world that could be the right answer.
So what you're saying is that, in Aisha, your answer is correct in alternative dimension.
Possibly. Let's put it that
probably is.
It will give us closure because the answer to the riddle.
Does it though? You're just messing with me right now.
You're making me question just the idea.
I
of
mean,
the
that
riddle.
is what it's all about. Always question everything, but not too much, but just question it enough times. But the answer is to the riddle.
The answer to the riddle is the future.
Which Mikhail actually said.
I said the future self.
Which kind of works.
You know, yeah.
Just take it.
Halas.
We're saying you were correct. Just take it. Don't question it too much.
You're
now
right.
As for our winner of the night.
Okay, so there's so many people who have answered, and guys, great job for taking part in the riddle. But we got to pick a winner, and so today's winner is going to be, for 500 dirham cash courtesy of the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is going to be Mark Jervy Sagara. Congratulations for winning 500 dirham cash. He's so sweet. He writes, I will buy my daughter a flexible Barbie as a birthday gift.
Ooh, that's a very good
A flexible
gift.
Barbie. That sounds like an expensive kind of Barbie.
Yeah, like actually when I was growing up, obviously I had all my Barbies, but I had those two Barbies that were the special ones, the expensive ones, and I used to always keep them in the box. Like I'd play with them, then put them right in the box, and my mom would put it away. So I'm pretty sure your daughter can do the same, and she's gonna feel so happy and excited when you get it for her. So congratulations to you and your daughter as well. She's also technically the lucky winner of tonight.
I also recommend go on Netflix and watch Barbie Life in the Dream House. Don't ask why I know this show.
Listen,
but I think it'll be great for your daughter.
Do you remember how many times I told you that you should recommend it for Thursday recommendations?
I will eventually, but it's there in the background. It's waiting to get recommended.
It should
But I
be
feel in the
recommended.
context now, I can just say, go on Netflix, check
Maybe
it
it
out.
could be your tomorrow's Ramadan binge.
Don't tempt me, Aisha.
That could be it. Because tomorrow we're back with the guessing game. Mikhail, I will be getting that revenge from last week. And also the Ramadan binge and all kinds of stories. We have a review tomorrow. I'm going to be playing or have been playing Pokemon Snap. I'm going to be talking about it, whether it's good or is it bad, especially from the point of view of someone who hasn't played the previous game. So excited for that. So make sure you're tuning in tomorrow. Same time, same vibes from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. only here on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of Afternoon Karak, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.